I want you to imagine something for a second. You're in a utility room, and you're holding a bucket,
Okay. A standard bucket.
a standard, 5-gallon heavy-duty bucket.
Yeah.
And you've got it under a faucet that's just blasting water. You've cranked the handle all the way.
Right. And that water, let me guess, is your business's revenue.
Exactly. It's every sale, every invoice. It's all the hard work you do to keep the pressure high, right? You're doing the marketing, you're training the staff, you're trying to keep that flow strong.
That's the job. Keep the water flowing.
But here's the thing. You look down, and the water level in the bucket, it just isn't rising like it should.
Oh, no.
It's churning, it looks busy, but it's not filling up. And that's when you realize someone's drilled little holes in the bottom of your bucket.
And you're just standing there watching all that hard-earned revenue spill out onto the floor.
It is the absolute nightmare scenario. And the worst part is that most business owners, they don't even see the holes. They just think, I need to turn the faucet up even higher.
They think they need more sales.
Yes. Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're digging into some really fascinating material from a group called Business Profit Strategies, or BPS. And their whole mission is basically to hand you a patch kit for that bucket.
I'd say it's even a little more than a patch kit. From what I've seen in these documents, it's more like they want to replumb your entire financial house.
Oh, interesting.
What really struck me wasn't just the how-to, it was the sheer scale of the claim they're making.
Which is?
They're talking about 95% to 100% revenue recovery.
Okay, see, that immediately triggers my skepticism radar. 100% revenue recovery sounds like something you'd hear on a late-night infomercial.
It should. And honestly, I'd be right there with you if the claims weren't backed up by the kind of forensic analysis in their case studies. When you strip away the marketing, what they're saying is that most businesses are bleeding money through leaks they've just accepted as.
The cost of doing business.
Exactly. And BPS is saying, no, those costs are optional. You've just been taught to think they're mandatory.
That's a huge shift in mindset. And we're not just talking about patching the leaks for today, right? The goal, according to their literature, is to use that recovered money to fund something much bigger.
They call it a financial freedom roadmap. That's the whole point. It's not just about saving a few bucks. It's about stopping that silent drain so you can actually afford to retire or sell the business.
Or just not work weekends anymore.
Right. It's about turning waste into actual wealth.
Okay, so let's get into it. The sources identify a few of these leaks, but there's one that's it's the massive one, the shark in the bucket.
You're talking about credit card processing fees?
The dreaded swipe fee. Now, I know people's eyes can glaze over when we talk about percentages, so break this down for me. Why is 2.5% or 3% such a big deal?
Well, as a customer, it isn't a big deal. But for the business owner, that math is just brutal. The BPS case studies use a range of, say, 2.5% to 3.5%.
Okay, let's just use 3% for easy math.
Now, think about your profit margins. If you own a restaurant, your net profit margin, after you've paid for food, labor, rent, and what is it, maybe 10%? 15% if you're amazing.
Sure, 10% is a good year in food service. The margins are paper thin.
So follow this. If your net margin is 10%, but you're giving 3% of your gross revenue to the credit card companies, you're not giving up 3% of your profit.
Giving up, oh, wow.
You're giving up 30% of your profit.
Wait, hold on, let me get that straight. The fee comes off the top line number, the total sale. But my profit is what's left at the very bottom. So that 3% fee is eating a third of what I actually get to take home.
Precisely. It eats the margin first. The source material had this great example of a full-service restaurant doing about $85,000 a month in sales.
Okay, so a solid local spot, a healthy business.
A very healthy business. And at an average rate, they are vanishing about $2,465 every single month.
$2,400 a month. That's nearly $30,000 a year.
$29,580 to be exact.
That's a salary. You could hire a part-time prep cook for that. You could buy a new industrial oven every single year, and it's just gone.
And it scales, too. They had another example of a medical practice doing $190,000 a month. They're losing $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year.
It physically hurts to hear that. But here's the thing. BPS says you can fix this with zero-fee processing. But come on, the banks don't work for free. Visa doesn't run a charity. How could it be zero?
You're asking the right question. The banks always get paid. What BPS proposes is a compliant surcharge program. You might know it as dual pricing or cash discounting.
Oh, right. Like at the gas station, there's a cash price and a credit price.
It's the exact same idea. The business just displays two prices. You have the cash price, which is the normal price, and then you have the card price, which includes a small service fee to cover the processing cost.
So walk me through it. I buy a sandwich for $10. If I pay with cash,
It's $10.
if I tap my credit card.
It'll be something like $10.35. That extra 35 cents goes to cover the fee. The business owner gets their full $10. The customer choosing the convenience of credit covers the cost of that convenience.
Okay, but the pushback factor. Aren't business owners terrified that customers are going to get angry and walk out?
That's the number one fear, always. But the data BPS shows suggests it's mostly a psychological hurdle for the owner, not the customer.
Really?
Think about it. We see service fees everywhere now. Paying your taxes online, buying concert tickets, utility bills.
That's true. I don't even blink anymore when I see a convenience fee.
We're kind of conditioned to it. Plus, if you frame it as a cash discount, it feels like a reward for paying with cash, not a penalty for using a card. BPS claims most of their clients save between $500 and $3,000 a month right away, with basically zero customer complaints.
So you risk maybe one customer grumbling to save $30,000 a year?
That's the trade-off. And if more people start paying with cash to get the discount, that's even better for the business's cash flow.
Fair enough. What about the legal side? Can I just tape a sign to my register that says 3% extra for cards?
Please do not do that. Absolutely not.
Why not?
That's a great way to get your account frozen and get hit with massive fines. This is where the compliant part comes in. It is legal in all 50 states now, but Visa and MasterCard have incredibly strict rules.
Like what kind of rules?
Signage has to be at the entrance and at the point of sale. The font size matters. The receipt has to show the fee as a separate line item. The terminal itself has to be programmed correctly. It's a minefield.
So doing it yourself is a bad idea.
It's asking for trouble. BPS handles all that compliance, the programming, the signs, all of it. They take that headache away.
Okay, so that's leak number one plugged. We stopped bleeding out 30% of our profit.
Yeah.
But the BPS material says that's just the tip of the iceberg. They talk about hidden revenue leaks.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. Credit card fees are obvious, you see them on your statement. But BPS argues there's another 3 to 8% of revenue just disappearing.
3 to 8%. On top of the card fees.
Yes.
Wow. So a business could be losing, what, 10% of their gross revenue to just waste?
Exactly. This falls under what they call profit consulting. They do a deep dive financial analysis, like a forensic audit of your operations.
Profit detectives. I love that. What are they looking for, though?
Well, a classic example is vendor contracts. Your trash pickup service, you signed a contract 5 years ago. It has an auto-renewal clause with a 5% price increase every year that you never read.
Because you're busy running the actual business.
Precisely. So now you're paying 30% more than the guy down the street. Or your linen service is hitting you with an environmental fee that's completely made up.
It's like those zombie subscriptions on your personal bank account, but for the business.
That's a perfect way to put it. They review all of it, utility bills, insurance, everything, and they claim they can find and capture this lost money within 90 days.
90 days. So let's go back to our restaurant owner. They've already saved 30 grand on credit cards. Now BPS finds them another, let's say, $40,000 in waste. That's $70,000 a year.
And here's the most important part. You haven't sold a single extra burger to get that money. This is all margin optimization. You're just keeping the money you were already making.
It's the most efficient profit possible. There's no cost of goods sold on found money.
Correct. Every dollar you save drops straight to the bottom line.
Which brings us to the so what. Because extra cash is great, but the title of this dive is Funding Freedom. This is where their wealth strategy planning comes in, right?
This is the third pillar, and I think it's the most important one. They don't just stop at "we saved you money." They focus on what you do with that money.
Building the financial freedom roadmap. What does that mean in practice?
So imagine you're that doctor who just recovered, say, $90,000 a year between fees and other efficiencies. You now have all this extra free cash flow.
Okay, I've got 90 grand sitting in my business account.
What do most owners do? They just let it get absorbed. They buy a nicer chair for the waiting room, or
they buy a boat.
Or they buy the boat. A depreciating asset? BPS connects that recovered money directly to things like exit planning, succession planning, asset protection.
Ah, so you're using the savings to literally buy your freedom from the business.
Exactly. So many owners are cash poor personally because every spare dime goes back into the business bucket. They can't afford to set up a proper retirement plan. BPS says the money for your retirement is already in your business, it's just leaking out. When you plug the leaks, you fund your exit.
That's a really powerful reframing. It's not I'm saving on fees, it's I'm funding my life after this business.
And think about the compound effect. That $30,000 a year saved on fees over 10 years, invested at a normal rate of return.
It becomes a huge number.
It becomes $400,000 or $500,000, a real nest egg, all from changing how you take payments.
It connects the boring daily task to the big long-term dream. Okay, let's talk about the who. Who are these people?
Yeah.
Is this some tech startup that's going to vanish next year?
It's the opposite, actually. The founder, Robert Scharnhorst, started the company back in 1974.
1974. Wow, that's over 50 years of experience. That's pre-internet.
In finance, that kind of longevity means a lot. They've seen everything. The dot-com bubble, 2008, the pandemic. They're not new to this.
And they're local too, right? Based in Idaho.
Yes, in Twin Falls. And they really lean on that. They contrast their on-site service with the, 3-hour hold times you get when you call a giant payment processor.
The worst. Listening to that distorted music while a customer is standing there tapping their foot.
Right. BPS positions themselves as a partner who actually shows up, installs the equipment, and trains your staff. No DIY.
That's huge. And they have a guarantee.
A zero-fee guarantee. The source says if they can't save you money, they don't move forward. It's a risk-free look under the hood.
And how fast does this all happen? Because change in financial systems sounds like a nightmare.
It's surprisingly quick. They say they can have you live in 7 to 14 days.
So in 2 weeks, you can stop losing thousands of dollars a month.
That's the claim. As they put it, every day you delay costs you money. It puts a daily price tag on procrastination.
Ouch. Okay, so let's just quickly recap the whole journey here. Step 1.
Plug the biggest hole, the credit card fees. Get that immediate cash flow relief.
Step 2 is the detective work, the profit consulting. Finding that other 3 to 8% hidden in your bills and contracts.
Right, optimizing your margins.
And then step 3, the wealth strategy. You take all that found money and you actually build your freedom roadmap.
You turn business efficiency into personal freedom. That's the whole arc. You go from just running a business to owning a valuable asset that serves you.
It's a really compelling story. Okay, before we wrap, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. We've talked about the dollars, but let's talk about time.
The opportunity cost.
Yeah. If your business is leaking, say, 8% of its revenue total, just think about your work week. If you work a 50-hour week, 8% of that is 4 hours.
4 hours every single week.
Which means every Monday morning, you come in, you work your tail off until lunchtime. And all of that work was just to pay Visa and your overpriced trash collector. You essentially work the first half of every Monday for free.
That is a very sobering thought. How many years of your life are you willing to trade just for inefficiency?
Exactly. If you could get those 4 hours back or the money they represent, would you? It's a question worth asking.
Absolutely. It's about respecting your own effort.
A huge thank you to the team at Business Profit Strategies for this source material. It has definitely made me want to look at my own vendor contracts. And thank you, as always, for breaking down the math for us.
My pleasure. It's always good to find the leaks.
And to you, listening, check your bucket. You might be very surprised at what you find. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.